Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode, I don't know, 160. Should have checked that before I started. 160. Andrew Eisen here. Zachary is not going to be with us for months, probably. I just heard from him a day or two ago, and as I told you, he was moving houses, and he was supposed to have internet there, but he does not. Uh, so yeah, but his community is next on the list. So who the heck knows? So he's okay. He just doesn't have internet, which is tough when sharing a household with a bunch of other people who want to use the internet and you need to work from home and you work from home. Yeah, that's a bear right there. So but in the meantime, hey, you've got me all to yourselves. So, what do we want to talk about today? Today, I would like to talk a little bit about Velkhana, the new Elder Dragon in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Uh, I had plans to go visit a friend this weekend, but those fell through. So I said, well, that's a shame. I guess I can play Monster Hunter this weekend. So, because originally Capcom Monday, I think, announced, said, hey, final Iceborne betas this weekend. I went, oh man, I'm going to be out this weekend. And then the plans fell through, and I went, oh man, I'm going to be home this weekend. Oh, well, I guess I'll play it. And I played it a couple times. I think I tried Velkhana 4 or 5 times. Didn't beat her. It's a cool fight. I really like the very lithe design of this new dragon. She's not as chunky as a lot of the monsters like Nergigante is bulky bulky dragon, massive forearms and stuff. Volcana is very slender. It's a striking, very regal looking. She's wandering around minding her own business. Of course, you go up and you wallop her in the toes. Um, I spent a lot of time really trying to get a handle on the new Clutch Claw, and I have come to a conclusion regarding the Clutch Claw. I'm terrible at it. Like, I am absolute garbage at the Clutch Claw. I can't hit the broadside of a barn with the Clutch Claw. I can't I have an enormously difficult targeting the monster, let alone targeting a specific part of the monster. I have an enormously difficult time staying on the monster. And I know not to try grappling on when it's enraged. I mean, at like any time. I I want to take advantage of the whole unload all of your ammo into its face to, drive it into a wall to knock it over and then beat on it when it's down. But I can't seem to clutch claw the damn thing anywhere near a wall. Like, I try and I try and I try, and when I finally clutch claw the sucker, I'm like in the exact middle of the arena. I'm like smacking it in the face to get it to turn around. I'm like turn, turn, turn. No, I'm nowhere near a wall. Nowhere near a wall. This isn't the game's fault. It's not bad controls. I am just very bad at clutch claw. Um, never. There's no health bar, so I can't tell you how far along I'm getting. Uh, I've made her switch areas twice. I don't know how many times she does that, or if she does that at certain damage thresholds, or if she does that because she's embarrassed about my performance and just wants to leave. She's like, oh, dude, you're just embarrassing me. Bye. Bye. Um, another thing I've always sucked at in Monster Hunter is environmental traps. In the second area she goes to, there are two hanging stalactites. She is polite enough to start out standing directly underneath one of them, so that's guaranteed damage for me every time. It's like she's like, okay, this is just so sad. So she walks. She's like, okay, yeah, all right, gonna stand here. Go for it, dude. At least you can brag you got some damage. Um, I have never successfully hit her with both icicles in that cavern. I am just really bad when it comes to the clutch claw or the slinger. I'm a run up on a monster and hit it in the head type of player. Um, I try to play a bit more intelligently, and it never works. I'm like, okay, I've got a genius idea. Okay, so I'm gonna run over to where she is. I'm gonna pick up some ammo off the ground because there's two piles of ammo in the first area, I think. So my plan is grab a pile of ammo, clutch claw her face, do the attack to soften up her face, smack her legs a little bit. I do a charge blade. Smack her legs around a bit to charge up my files and stuff. Then clutch claw onto her head again, run her into a wall, which does damage and knocks her over, and then do the super powerful element discharge attack. That's my plan. It's a good plan. I just can't pull it off because I can't get the damn clutch claw to work half the time. It's like I either can't get her near enough, can't clutch her when she's near enough a wall, or by the time I get her, the power up on my shield is worn off, so I'm not going to do as much damage on the slam. It's what a pain in the butt. She's an ice dragon, so she has a lot of ice attacks. She freeze breath, and she makes these little walls of ice in the arena, which you can actually climb on and jump off of to try and do mounting damage, which is neat. You can't seem to hide behind them, though, which I tried a couple of times. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong, but her ice blast goes straight through those things and will wallop you one. I'm like, it feels like the leftover ice blocks. You should be able to hide behind them, like Behemoth. You know, it's got those meteors that come down and stick in the ground. You can hide behind those. In fact, it's a really good strategy when it does the supernova thing. The end all life attack. You hide behind those. So, not sure if I just doing something. Hard to say. The biggest problem I have is you only get 15 minutes, and that's why I keep failing the quest. I just run out of time. It's an enjoyable fight. It's a cool monster design. She's got all kinds of funky attack. A lot of real. She likes to spear you with her tail, which is a really neat attack. Reminds me of Glavenus. Cool attack. Cool fight. Similar to the original Monster Hunter World Beta, where Nergigante was the ultimate boss. I feel like I probably could have done it if I had like just another minute or two. Nergigante, I don't think I ever beat. I think I got him limping away, but I just kept running out of time. I only tried Velkhana 4 or 5 times, but I just kept running out of time. Glone, hello Glone, you're new. Just found this and I'm so tired, but when I wake up I'm gonna watch all of these if you upload them. Keep up the good work. Ah, thank you. If you mean this specific podcast, there's this plus Super Podcast Action Committee, there's like 300 of them. So that's a lot of stuff to watch, but good luck. Glad you enjoy the show. So, yeah, I don't really care for the time limit. In fact, that's one of the things about Monster Hunter that bothers me is like, why is there a time limit? I guess to keep it from a battle of attrition, because you just keep smacking on them, heal, smack on them, heal. Eventually, you're going to win. I don't mind the 3 cart thing. That seems fair. And 50 minutes is plenty of time for any monster, really, unless you're going after it with the wrong gear. Um, but a lot of the quests, like a lot of the investigations and stuff, especially some of the tempered monsters, will do the thing where it's like you have 15 minutes. It's like I'm not a speedrunner. That's not how I want to play the game. I don't want to rush. I don't want to be efficient. I want to have fun. Um, so I don't really care for the time constraints. But what really bothers me about the beta is it boots you out of the game. If you fail the quest, you can't just try it again. No. It says, hey, thank you for playing. Would you like to go to the PlayStation Store and pre-order this game? And you hit no, and it boots you back to the title screen. And so you have to hit start, select single player, multiplayer, whatever you're doing. Do you want to redesign your character? No. Is this equipment set fine? It's what I used last time, so yeah. Which quest would you like to do? The one I just failed. Okay, departing on quest, loading quest, loading quest. Okay, let's do the map tutorial again. Oh, that's one of the reasons why I've only done Velkhana 4 or 5 times is I just don't... I know how to use the map handler. I know. Press this button to open the map. You're not going anywhere until I show you this cool stuff. Alright, fine. Map. See this red circle? That's where we are. Oh my god. That's... My inability to read the map was not why I lost. I just ran out of time. Oh well. Still looking forward to Iceborne and looking forward to getting mildly adequate at using the darn clutch claw. So... yay, Monster Hunter, it's fun. So, I played Donut County this week. Donut County is a game that came out last year before, something like that. And it was one of those small indie darlings that just everyone absolutely loved. The premise of the game is you control a hole in the ground. And you move this hole along the ground, and you move it under things so that they'll drop in the hole. And the more crap you get in the hole, the larger the hole gets, so you can drop more stuff in the hole, until you've dropped everything in the hole, including people and buildings. So it's kind of like Katamari Damacy. Only instead of picking small things up with the little sticky ball, and then progressively larger things as you make a bigger sticky ball, you just drop small things in a hole and progressively larger things as you make the hole bigger. Okay. People love this game. People sang the praises of this game. And I first saw the trailer and I went, oh, that's a neat cartoony aesthetic. It's a neat mechanic, but it looks really easy to the point of just being kind of boring. I mean, I looked at the trailer, I'm like, okay, you just using the mouse, you move the hole under the small things, and then the medium things, and then the large things. Is there anything else to this game? I don't get it. But people were swearing up and down, it's so fun, it's so charming. So, it was on sale this week. I picked it up for about $7. And, I should really trust my gut, because more often than not, almost with... I don't know if it's a mental thing, like I convince myself because my initial impressions were this looks boring, I like force myself to think it's boring. I don't know if it's that, or if I just have really good instincts on what I will like. Chaos's Astral Chain is awesome. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm really looking forward to playing that. Not dropping 60 bones on it, I'll wait till it drops in price a bit, but yeah, really looking forward to Astral Chain. But anyway, Donut County is boring. It's really really bad, and I hate saying that because it sounds mean, but it's just not a fun game at all. At all. It is so dull. It is the longest short game I've ever played, which is why I titled this episode the way I did. It's only 2 hours long. It's probably not even that, somewhere between 1 and 2 hours to complete the entire game. And actually, kind of thank goodness, because I didn't want to play it for longer than that, because it's not fun to play. But it is a long 2 hours to get through that game, for me at least. I like the cartoony aesthetic. Um, it's pleasant. There is something inherently satisfying about dropping stuff into the hole. The main mechanic is solid. It controls well. Like I said, there's something inherently fun about just swallowing up an entire area into a hole. You know, just getting a hole and getting little small things into it. The hole gets bigger, and suddenly you're swallowing a car, and then it's large enough you're just moving it under an entire parking lot to drop all kinds of cars into it. There's something inherently satisfying and fun about that. But unfortunately, it's almost the only thing you do in that game. The game is painfully easy. It would be like if Tetris only had the long block. Imagine that. Think about Tetris, but you don't have the T blocks, you don't have the squares, you don't have the zigzag blocks, you only have the long blocks, the four square long blocks. That's it. That's the only block you get. I think there would still be something inherently satisfying about completing a Tetris, stacking everything up to the top and then jamming one long piece down the hole and having an entire 4 rows disappear. But the game would be just easy and boring, and such is the case for Donut County. A lot of people said they really enjoyed the characters and the dialogue. I can see that. I did not. I I thought some of the item descriptions were cute. Um, but the interaction between all the characters honestly left me cold. I didn't hate them. I just didn't really care about them at all. Um, Astral Chain. I'm sorry, not Astral Chain. Donut County. Um, what it needed was puzzles, I think. There are a few light puzzles. Um, Literally, like 3/4 of the way through the game, you get a catapult, which allows you to shoot certain items out of the hole to do something. So if there's like a shelf of stuff, you can't get the stuff on the shelf because it's on a shelf and you're just a hole. You can sit under the shelf all day, but the shelf's bolted to a wall, so what do? Well, using the catapult, you can catapult garbage up into the air and knock things off the shelf. Oh, okay. Uh, the, Later you get some mechanics with well, with that becomes an alternate mechanic. The boss fight at the very end of the game is actually really well done. Um, there's actually a multi-room sequence at the end of the game where you need to you're like in a facility and you move the hole into different rooms and you get a key card and you go back and you spit it out into a different door to open the door so you can go into the new room. That was actually a compelling sequence. This isn't inherently a bad game, it's just too simple, too easy. It doesn't build on the premise enough to be a worthwhile experience for me. Everyone else seemed to really love it. Um, it was just way too easy. It was just boring because you swallow the small stuff, and then you get the progressively larger stuff is your hole gets bigger. There's no challenge to it. It's almost not a game because there's no way you can actually lose for the most part other than just stop playing. You know? There's no mostly there's no way to get stuck. It's not like you need to find the smaller items so that to make your hole big enough to get the larger items. No. In fact, there's no scoring system because there aren't hidden items. There's you just swallow everything on the screen and you're done. You won. I'm very sad that I didn't like the game, but that's almost always it's interesting when I look at a game and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, and then I hear people, oh my god, best game ever. I'm like, really? Okay, and I give it a try, and I'm like, yeah, not feeling it. That's happened a lot. It happened with Donut County. It happened with Muramasa the Demon Blade. Oh, that game is so gorgeous. But I looked at I looked at him like that just doesn't look very fun to play. And I mean, it's gorgeous looking. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. And I bought it. And I played it. And I don't think I've ever put more than like 2 hours into it. I think I pulled it off the shelf a couple of years later and tried playing it again. I like played the other character, and I just don't enjoy playing the game. It's not fun to play. Gorgeous though. Metal Arms, a glitch in the system, another game that people were just I looked at and said, oh, it looks cute, but not really calling to me. But everyone was just raving up and down about how wonderful the game was. I'm like, really? Okay, and I bought it and I played it and I stopped playing about halfway through because I just wouldn't have any fun with it. It is adorable. I think I was going to call him Ratchet and Clank. No. Metal Arms glitch in the system. Adorable little guy. The animations are cute. I like the world it exists in. It's just not very fun to play. So I'm trying to think of a game that I thought looked not fun. I watched her. I'm like, not feeling it. And then I played it on the recommendation of others, and wow, this is really good. That has to have happened at some point, but nothing's coming to mind. It's kind of why I'm afraid to play Shadow of the Colossus, because that's another game I look at and I go, that game just doesn't look any fun at all. I mean, the Colossus fights look wonderful. They look great. They look epic and fun. But everything in between looks crushingly dull. And I don't like being the one guy who doesn't like the thing that everyone else likes. I would rather like the thing that everyone else likes and share in that communal joy. It's fun to like things. Oh well. Chaos says, rarely am I surprised by a game. My instincts on whether I'll like a game or not are usually pretty spot on. Yeah, mine too. And I have to wonder how much of that is, psychological. Are we making ourselves like something? It's like, I felt like I should like this, so darn it, I'm going to make myself like this. And I felt like that I wasn't going to like this, so gosh darn it, I'm going to make sure I don't enjoy it. I would like to think no. I can actually think of movies that didn't call to me, and then I watched later and said, ooh, I quite like this. Princess Bride being probably the most notable. I had absolutely no interest in that when I was a little kid. Probably because it was called The Princess Bride. I mean, two of the three things in the title I didn't care for. Princesses and brides. I didn't have a problem with. But I saw The Princess Bride. Didn't have much choice. Mom took my sister and I to the movies. And I loved it. Because it's great. So I can think of films where I saw the trailer and I was like, not feeling it, and then I eventually saw it and loved it. So, all right, let me drink. Tomorrow I will have a debut review for Dark Crystal: The Age of Resistance. Filmed that last night, edited it, and uploaded it today, hoping that YouTube doesn't flag it, and then I'll release it tomorrow. I've got 2 more Andrew Eats in the can. I have to edit them, so probably see one of those next week. The next one is Passion Fruit, and I think that's going to be a special episode. So look forward to that. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I saw the CD Projekt Red's deep dive. I don't know why they called it this. Into Cyberpunk 2077, and another game I'm not feeling. It looks fine. I really like the world. It's a world I just kind of want to wander around in and look at the neat stuff, but all of the gameplay so far has just kind of left me cold. I don't know. It doesn't look bad, and I know some of my audience is really chomping at the bit for that game, and I totally get it. It's just not calling to me so far. And I haven't really been able to identify exactly what it is about the game that's just not speaking to me. It's a looker. There are aspects about it that I kind of admire the game more than I actually want to play it, which is kind of weird. What was my main topic for tonight? I should have. Oh, Chaos U2. Yeah. What was I should have written down what topics I wanted to talk about tonight, because I had another main one and now I can't remember what the hell it was. It was Donut County I wanted to talk about, and Death Stranding. Well, Death Stranding, I'm in the same boat, but I know why. It's because we haven't seen any compelling gameplay. It looks like a really neat movie. I'd like to see that movie. It's got really interesting characters and an interesting world, and the lore seems fascinating, and I kind of want to spend time there to see what's going on. But the gameplay, it looks like Fetch Quest the game. You just walk around and deliver stuff. Although you can pee on the ground. That's pretty cool. I admit that's a feature I would abuse. Just like petting a cat or petting a dog, or hugging the blob and a boy and his blob. No reason to do it, maybe, but I would do it over and over just because it's funny. Like, I will flush every toilet I come across in a video game. You know, if I go into a bathroom, I try to turn on the taps and I flush the toilet. Just because it's there. But yeah, there's nothing about that. Almost every trailer we see of Death Stranding is just a cutscene. And I'm like, if that's just make a movie. It makes me think that we're only showing this because the game is not fun. And it's not a game where I watch and I think, well, that doesn't look fun. It's a game where I watch and I think, have you actually showed me the game yet? I don't think I can fairly judge if the game is any fun or not, because I don't feel like they've actually shown the game. Unless they have, in which case, yeah, it looks really dull. But we'll see. Darn it, I honestly should have written down, because I had an actual topic I wanted to discuss, and I can't remember what it was. Looking around for inspiration. I am so tired. I was actually kind of thinking, maybe I should call off the podcast for tonight, because I'm just exhausted. I actually have that real fat-headed feeling right now, you know, when you're overly tired and your body's like, dude, sleep. Seriously, man. Sleep. I've got that feeling right now. Um, Chaos asked about Untitled Goose Game. I don't know if I'm getting it, but I really I like what I see of it. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. I still think they should call it Asshole Goose. Yeah, I know you can't call it that because you wouldn't be able to advertise it or put it on the box, but call it Asshole Goose because that's what it should be called. But it that actually looks like a fun little puzzle game. I'm not completely clear if it's just a more along the lines of like a wreak havoc type of game, kind of like the goat game, which I don't remember. I guess it's Goat Simulator, where there's some goals, but mainly it's just run around and cause mischief and have fun. I don't know if it's that kind of game or if it's more of a puzzle game where you have to manipulate the environment with the goose in order to accomplish a specific goal. Either way, it honking at people and annoying them as a goose does look pretty fun. So I can't say I'm going to buy it, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. Um, I did talk about the games that I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. Let me pull that up. Do do do. Oh my God! It was Yakuza 7. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, okay, games I'm looking forward to through the end of the year. First came out yesterday, Astral Chain. I love the name, it's hilarious, and the game looks like a lot of fun. River City Girls is another one that's just really calling to me. I like the art style. I like old school beat 'em ups. Like I was never really into Kunio-kun. I think we only got like one of them anyway. River City Rampage. It was fun enough. I was more into like Double Dragon, but River City Girls looks really fun. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, of course. I'm really looking forward to. AI the Somnium Files comes out in September. I'm keeping my eye on this one. I'm not going to automatically buy this one. It's from the same folks who made the Zero Escape games. Um, they just haven't shown anything of the game yet, other than here's what our characters look like. Well, they're pretty. I like the art style. It looks like you have much better animation in this game than the really, frankly, sad animation in Zero Time Dilemma. But will the game be any good? I don't know. They haven't really shown any of it yet. Zelda Link's Awakening, the remake, I think it's just so adorable that it might be worth a replay even if you have played the original. Even if they change nothing, it's just a fresh coat of paint. The new coat of paint's so fresh it might be worth it anyway. I'm undecided on that one. Luigi's Mansion 3 I'm looking forward to. I really like Luigi's Mansion. I didn't like Dark Moon, the second one, which is on the handheld, but big fan of the original, and this looks like it's much closer to the original than the sequels. So, and then Doom Eternal. I really liked Doom 2016, so very very much looking forward to Doom Eternal. Chaos says September's going to break me. So many games coming out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not a. Yeah, it was interesting. I was looking at my list. Even my list is. Let's see. We've got Astral Chain is yesterday. August 30th, but that's pretty close to September. So Astral Chain, River City Girls, Monster Hunter Iceborne, AI's Somnium Files, Zelda. That's 5 right there, just from my list. So, okay, let's talk about Yakuza 7, because I have thoughts. For the longest time, for the longest time, Billy Joel. It was known as Shin Yakuza, or Shin Ryoga Gotoku. But Shin Yakuza, Ryoga Gotoku is known as Yakuza here. So if they're going to call it Shin Ryoga Gotoku, we're going to call it Shin Yakuza or New Yakuza. And being that was the project's code name, and we knew it was going to star Ichiban Kasuga, the new guy with the wild hair and the red outfit. Um, it's not Kiryu. Kiryu's story's done. So it might, will probably take place in Kamurocho and star the Yakuza and have a lot to do with the Tojo clan. But it's gonna be new. Maybe new in the sense of the like the Judgment. Just completely, still definitely that DNA, same location, but new characters, new way to play, blah 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 blah. So the game was officially announced this week, and they unveiled the title. What is Shin Yakuza really going to be? It's going to be Yakuza 7. It's just Yakuza 7. It's just Yakuza Part 7. Not, they're not resetting. They're not Yakuza the Kasuga Chronicles, or crazy-haired red suit-wearing dude. Kind of a mouthful of a title, but just like Judgment isn't Yakuza 7, it's just Judgment. I just found that really funny. So, interestingly, this new game seems to take place mostly in Yokohama. I imagine parts of it, at least, will take place in Kamurocho. But seems the character is going to spend most of his time in Yokohama. So, new area. Apparently, it's 3 times larger than Kamurocho. That in and of itself doesn't impress me, because Kamurocho is kind of perfect. It's not too big, not too small. It may be smaller than most of your open world games, but it's dense. There's all kinds of there's stuff to do on every block. If you make it 3 times larger, you're going to need 3 times the amount of things to do, or it's going to feel very sparse. It's kind of why Hiroshima in Yakuza 6 was not that great of a place, because it felt kind of empty. Then again, it's a really small, sleepy town, so maybe it was supposed to, but it felt like a place that you didn't want to go too much because there just wasn't a ton to do there. It felt like it needed a few more locations, is what I'm saying. So Yakuza 7. Let's get this out of the way. The biggest piece of news, and what people were tweeting me about the morning the news broke, was the new battle system. If you've played Yakuza, you know it's a fisticuffs brawler. So you wander around the streets of Kamurocho, and thugs and ne'er-do-wells constantly pick fights with you. And you have to punch them in the face and hit them over the head with things that you pick up off the street, like traffic cones and bicycles, until they learn the error of their ways. And it is glorious, and it is fun. It's essentially, Double Dragon, right? You're just constantly running into groups of ruffians, and you have to keep punching them until they go away. So all of the games have had this very actiony, immediate, visceral, punch people, kick people in the face, curb stomp them, hit them over the head with things. These really well done and very fun action battle systems. Well, the Ryoga Gotoku Studio has really massive balls, because they're changing the combat system from immediate action to RPG command-based menu system. So you get in a fight with a bunch of dudes, and you have a menu that says attack, defend, special move, item, and you pick your commands, and that's ballsy. Because, as you can probably imagine, a lot of longtime fans went, "What are you? That's not how Yakuza works. You can't just completely change the battle system in a numbered sequel. You can do that in spin-offs like Dead Souls, which was a shooter, because it's a spin-off. It's fine to do it there. You can do the sword play mechanics. It was still pretty much exactly the same, except in punching people you use swords in Kenzan and Ishin. But again, spin-offs. You can't radically just change the whole thing in a numbered sequel. It's just not done. And a lot of people, knowing that I'm a huge fan of the franchise, were very interested in my take on this new RPG battle system. And my initial thought was, I don't have a problem with that. One, I really like RPGs. It's one of my favorite game genres, and I like turn-based menu-driven battle systems in RPGs. So having one in a Yakuza game isn't an immediate turn-off to me. It's certainly really odd. It's a really unexpected choice. Ballsy, one might say, and I have. But it's not a deal breaker to me. And I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, well, that's interesting. I'll need to see how it works. And then I remembered, wait a minute. Wasn't there a April Fool's joke where they did a whole turn-based RPG thing where they released like a 4-minute video of new Yakuza with the characters doing a street fight but with RPG menu battle mechanics? And so I looked, and yeah, that was amazing. That wasn't an April Fool's joke. That was a preview of what they're doing. And I went back and I watched it, and I could totally see that working. It is amazing. Chaos said, did I see where Sega talked about bringing the other Yakuza games over, but aren't sure if the samurai setting will appeal to Western gamers? Yeah, regarding Ishin and Kensan, yeah, I did see that. They are absolutely, utterly wrong about... Their hesitation is misguided. We love samurai stuff. We love swordplay stuff. Americans eat that crap up. Don't hesitate, Sega or Ryoga Gotoku Studios. Bring them over. Especially now that Yakuza is actually continually increasing in popularity, and even Judgment did quite well. Go for it. No one's going to be like, oh, it's got swords. No one wants to play an awesome samurai, and I mean, come on. Now, they are correct in saying that there is nuance that we Westerners, unless we have an interest in, Japanese history, we won't get. Like at least one of the characters is based on an actual historical figure that we Americans probably don't know who that is. So we're going to miss some of the references and especially some of the historical context. But we already miss a lot of the historical and modern cultural quirks of the present-day Yakuza games. For example, we don't have hostess clubs or host clubs here. So we don't get that, but we still swing with it, There's a lot of stuff very specific to Japan that makes no sense. We don't understand really Yakuza. We get mobsters, but it's analogous, but it's not the same thing. But we still swing with it. It would be fine. Trust me. Trust me, Sega. If you can't trust some random guy on the internet, who can you trust, honestly? And Chaos says he'll buy them, and I'll buy them too. So that's at least 2 copies sold right there. 4 if you sell them individually. I don't need you to sell me an Ishin and Kenzan bundle. I will buy them individually. Happy to do so. They look amazing. They look wonderful. So they look just as great as the rest of, you know, just call them Yakuza. I don't know, maybe change the names from Kenzan and Ishin to Yakuza Samurai. That's a English people know that word. They get that. You know, Yakuza Samurai. Yakuza Samurai sounds amazing, doesn't it? Yakuza Samurai. That sounds great. Back to Yakuza 7 though. So I posted it on my Twitter. Go watch that purported RPG battle system that everyone figured was an April Fool's joke. I think if you watch that, you'll see how that could work in a Yakuza game, both pacing wise and tonally. It's still action packed. It still has all the cool heat moves. It still has the humor. It looks really cool. It's probably not going to be exactly the same, like the throwback 8-bit music that was playing is probably not going to be what's in the game. But yeah, I'm all for that. Bring it on. It looks great. Yakuza 7 comes out in January in Japan and sometime in 2020 for North America. So my guess would probably be this time next year, maybe, possibly early summer. That'd be my guess. The only thing that did strike me as odd is I watched they released one trailer. Typically for Yakuza games, they release 2 trailers. A story trailer, which is all cutscenes, so kind of like the Death Stranding type stuff, where it's just cutscenes to give you a sense of the setup for this game and the characters and the plot, the story. So a story trailer and a gameplay trailer, which shows you the battle system and all the side activities. So it'll show you, oh, it's a punchy game. Oh, look at these amazing moves that you can pull off. Oh, you can feed cats. You can play pinball. You can date people. You can go to a bar and drink yourself stupid. Play darts. Play billiards. Play bowling. Play, go on drone races. Just. They're usually like 4 or 5 minute trailers, and then they have one story trailer and one gameplay trailer. But this time for Yakuza 7, they just have one 4 or so minute story trailer. There's no gameplay trailer. Odd and unfortunate. I don't speak Japanese, but here's what I got out of the story. Watching the trailer, which again is in Japanese, which I don't speak, and reading the website, which again is in Japanese, which I don't read. And even if I did, it wouldn't matter because I don't speak it. I mean, my knowledge of Japanese is not even remotely conversational, let alone fluent. But here's what I got out of it. Basically, our new protagonist, Kasuga, was in a Yakuza family. And taking the heat for one of his Yakuza family members, he went to jail in his stead and was there for nearly 2 decades. When he gets out, the dude in his family whom he went to jail for is now the bad guy. That is literally the plot. That is literally the setup of the first Yakuza game. Kiryu goes to jail for nearly 2 decades for a crime he didn't commit because he's covering up for one of his buddies in his Yakuza family. And when he gets out, the guy that he went in for is the bad guy. Now, there are, of course, different details here, but the general setup is exactly the same. That's not a deal breaker for me, but that is curious that it's like the same setup, guys. This is literally this is the same thing in Yakuza 1. Oh well. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but the the general backstory is the same for both Kiryu and Kasuga. So, um, huh. But nevertheless, Yakuza 7, I am very much looking forward to it. I wish it released right now. Because I'm greedy and I want everything I want right now. So, Huevos Machos, I like that name, says Death Stranding in all caps. I take it you're looking forward to that game. So, them's my thoughts. Tomorrow, tune into my YouTube channel and you'll see my thoughts on the first episode of Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. I think we're going to call it a night because I'm really hot because it's 85 degrees in here. I got to go shopping. I've got a headache and I'm really tired. So I think we'll call it a night. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me this evening. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.